Thank you for tuning in for Keeping Up with Congress. I am Tamara Johnson Shealy, your candidate for the United States Senate. I'm a progressive Democrat that believes that reparations will make America great. It is time that we bridge the divide in this country. Please go to the website, that's tamara4georgia.com, www.tamara, Georgia spelled out.com. Please join me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here for Keeping Up with Congress. Good afternoon. I am Tamara Johnson Shealy. Good afternoon. I see you, Clubhouse family. Thank you for joining me. You know, I bring it to you live at 5:30. I'll come over there and chop it up with you, but we are live right here on YouTube and Clubhouse at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you for joining me right here for Keeping Up with Congress. If you are watching me live right here on YouTube, I ask that you please like, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button, and share, y'all. I keep telling you, if we're going to get anything when we get to Washington, it will be all about negotiations. We will not, I repeat, we will not get anything out of Congress, out of those other elected officials, if we're not able to play this political game, y'all. Politics at its finest. So that means we have to know the players. We got to know the game. We cannot not keep up with Congress, y'all. So I bring it to you again live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube and right here on Clubhouse. So let's get this party started. Let's get it started, y'all. Let's get it started. You know, I always like to bring you some reparations information. What's going on around reparations in this country? This is a commentary that I found. This is Evan Naismith. It says reparations model must be sustainable. This is somebody's opinion, y'all, but we'll take it. You know, it's always good to hear and know what other people are thinking when it comes to reparations, y'all. So this article I thought was quite interesting. Let me see if I can make this a little larger for those of you that are watching me here on YouTube. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this screen bigger. There it is. So it says Evan Naismith. He said reparations model must be sustainable. It says via reparations, Amherst is close to stepping into a political and legal bear trap. He says we can change that. Let's add some clever to our smart. Let's call it the Economic Justice Stimulus Fund. This initiative does not repair past racial injustices, so why should we call it reparations? Let's take a page out of the Biden playbook and frame it through the lens of smart economic policy. Quite an interesting approach. And I will agree with him there that, you know, reparations is federal. We say that time and time again, that reparations is a federal initiative. So we have to be mindful that, you know, reparations on a state level, reparations on a municipal level, with the city level, it's not reparations, y'all. So I get it. I see where he's going, but this little commentary goes left as we continue to read. He goes on to say, second, we should open up the application process to individuals of all races. Here it goes, y'all. It's going left. We should open up the application process to individuals of all races. It says if a Chinese American or a Puerto Rican can prove that they were economically harmed by discriminatory practices in Amherst, shouldn't they be allowed to apply for compensation? There it is, y'all. It went left. It says this second point is critical, both political and legally. If we limit recompense and its governance to one race, we limit both the scope of reparations and Democrats' chances at the ballot box. We do not want an unelected reparations panel on the minds of Michigan voters in 2022 or 2024. So here's where I told you it was going to go left. It says reparations is the crown jewel of conservative culture wars. If it's not framed thoughtfully, it will trigger a red wave at every level of government. As currently formulated, reparations for Amherst is likely unconstitutional. In Richmond versus Crowson in 1989, the Supreme Court struck down racially based preferences in city contracting, citing inherently unmeasurable claims of past wrongs. In Gutter versus Bollinger in 2003, affirmative action was narrowly upheld. So they got some court cases to back up what they're saying. It says the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg agreed with the majority to allow affirmative action, but only under the condition that race was only used as a secondary consideration for college admission. Both of the aforementioned courts were more liberal than the current iteration. It says you can bet your bottom dollar that conservative groups are prowling Evanston, Illinois, looking for a plaintiff to overturn their new reparations initiative. If we want to compensate the victims of racism, we owe them a sustainable model. Call and email the Amherst City Council to ensure that their well-intentioned initiative will succeed in the long term. So I told you it was going to go left, and it did. But we're clear that reparations is federal, y'all. So these pushbacks are to be expected. And this is why we have to get to Washington with this initiative. Here's another article I thought was quite interesting. This is a lady here in Georgia, where I am, and up in North Georgia. Says a white former beauty queen who inherited Georgia farm mulls over reparations due to family owning slaves. So she found out, y'all, that her family owned slaves. Her name is Stacy. Stacy Marshall. Says Georgia farmer Stacy Marshall was cleaning out her family's house when she found an 1860 census document that confirmed an awful discovery. Her ancestor owned 7 slaves. Let that set in. She found that they owned 7 slaves. I actually had the privilege of having a conversation with Stacy, and she has a heart, y'all, and it aches for what her family legacy is. It does, and I for her to have come forth, and she's taken some hittings up in North Georgia. She's taking a hitting up in North Georgia. Hey family, I see you. Hey Michael. Freedmen are on deck. Thank you, family. I appreciate it. It says in this article, it took a different meaning because I was going through their jewelry and their clothes. She was going through their valuables. She said, I was like, this is mine now. The family story is mine. And I'm going to stick this in a drawer. Am I going to stick this in a drawer and forget about it? So she had to like reckon with her own, going through the valuables, and realize that even she had to own this story of what was her family's legacy. Says Marshall is grappling with a complicated and difficult question. Is there anything she can do to rectify the fact that her family once owned slaves? And she's wrestling, y'all. I'm telling you, I've had an opportunity to speak with her, and you can feel her heart is torn, and it's a tug, because this is her story. It says Marshall dilemma mirrors a national debate that has brewed for decades over reparations for African Americans who are the descendants of slaves. A long-term bill that will create a commission to study slavery and discrimination and restitution proposals may be given a vote in the U.S. House of Representatives. So we have been waiting on this vote for H.R. 40, but this is an amazing story. It's quite lengthy, so I wasn't going to bring you the whole story, but I can just tell you that this is a woman who is intentional about not being silent, not being silent about what her family history is, not being silent. So look it up, y'all. Her name is Stacy Marshall. She is a Georgia farmer. Yeah. So I'm going to move on. I'll always like to bring you a little reparations information. So I am Tamara Johnson Shealy. If you haven't gone to the website, please do. It's tamara4georgia.com. We are committed to this race to the United States Senate, and it will take a whole lot of resources to get us there. So yeah, let's keep pushing, y'all. Let's keep pushing. He says he appreciates the channel. What's the name of this episode? It's Keeping Up with Congress, family. Keeping Up with Congress. Today is August the 2nd, so I always add the date to it as well. But please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, notification button, and share. So I always, on Mondays, I get a list of all the different committee hearings. Congress has adjourned. So I was curious to how these some of these committee hearings are still going on, but there's still a few that's happening. So here's some that I wanted to bring to you before we dive into the bill. So here's a hearing to examine domestic terrorism and violent extremism, focusing on the threat of racially, ethnically, religiously, and politically motivated attacks. So this is a committee hearing on Tuesday, August the 3rd, y'all, at 10 o'clock a.m. This is Homeland Security. Homeland Security. Another hearing, the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday, August the 3rd, 10 a.m. It's a hearing to examine student loan bankruptcy reform. Student loan bankruptcy reform. I didn't even know the two of them went together, because I know you can't add student loans to your bankruptcy. So maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, maybe they're going to hopefully create something where people can be relieved of this tremendous debt. I don't know, what kind of bankruptcy reform they're going to have, but this is actually a very, I think, a very interesting conversation. Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday, August the 3rd at 10 o'clock a.m. Tuesday, August the 3rd at 2:30, y'all, 2:30, the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. It's a hearing to examine toxic marketing claims and their dangers. So hearings to examine toxic marketing claims and their dangers. The Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee on this tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Here's one more, y'all. Hearings to examine protecting consumers from financial fraud and scams in the pandemic recovery economy. So this is the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. This is again tomorrow at 2:30, the hearings to examine protecting consumers from financial fraud and scams in the pandemic recovery economy. So keeping up with Congress, y'all. We got to keep our eyes on these bills. We got to keep our eyes on our ears on these hearings. We got to stay abreast. We will not get reparations without negotiation. So please, y'all, let's play this political game. I know we spend a lot of time on social media doing a whole lot of stuff, but we got to keep our eyes on Congress. And I actually went out this weekend and was around some people, and some older people, all Democrats. And one thing I said to them was, don't go back to sleep, y'all. Don't go back to sleep. And I think they're so comfortable with having this Biden administration, y'all. People are going back to sleep, and our laws, our rights, a lot of our things that are important to us as Americans, these things are being stripped away. So we got to be mindful, y'all. We can't go to sleep on this Democratic plantation. Let's not go to sleep. All right, let's dive into the bills. HR 926, HR 926. This is Representative Danny Davis, Democrat out of Illinois. This bill is to provide emergency funding for home visiting programs during the pandemic and other purposes. This bill provides supplemental funding to the Department of Health and Human Services for the maternal, infant, and early childhood home visiting program. This program supports voluntary home visits by social workers and other professionals for families with young children in at-risk communities, y'all. So this is to provide emergency funding for home visiting programs during the pandemic. So they need some extra money to go into the homes during the pandemic. I guess people are saying, y'all need to give us a raise. I'm not quite sure why they need extra money, but there it is. There it is. Danny Davis, Democrat out of Illinois. HR 927, the Child and Dependent Care Tax Credit Enhancement Act of 2021. This is Danny Davis, again, Representative Danny Davis, Democrat out of Illinois. This bill modifies the tax credit for employment-related expenses incurred for the care of a taxpayer's dependent. So this is the Child and Dependent Care Tax Credit Enhancement Act of 2021. This is Danny Davis, again, Democrat out of Illinois. HR 928 is the American Family Act of 2021. American Family Act of 2021. This is Representative Rosa DeLauro, Democrat out of Connecticut. This bill modifies the child tax credit to 1, make the credit fully refundable, 2, increase the amount of a credit and allow an additional credit for children who are under 6 years of age, And 3, require the amount of the credit to be adjusted annually for inflation. And 4, require the Department of the Treasury to establish a program for making advance payments of the credit on a monthly basis. And see, this is where I think a lot of people who are getting this child care credit now monthly, I hope they understand that this is the money that they would have gotten at one time when they filed their taxes. So I hope people are understanding that when you go to file your taxes, it's not like you're going to get the money that you used to get, because you're getting it now just in increments. So I think this kind of, to me, sounds like what has already been implemented. So watch out. And if you know people that's getting child care money now, be mindful that that money that you would normally get during tax season, that's not what you're going to get, because you're getting it now. This is HR 928. HR 929. HR 929 is to provide that the amount of time that an elderly offender must serve before being eligible for placement in home detention is to be reduced by the amount of good time credits earned by the prisoner and for other purposes. So this is Representative Theodore Deutsch, Democrat out of Florida. This bill modifies the eligibility criteria for an elderly offender to qualify for early release from prison and placement in home detention. Says specifically, it reduces the amount of a prison term an elderly offender must serve by the amount of time credits earned by the offender. So this is helping some of these older prisoners who've been in there for obviously a long time to get out and be placed in home detention. So yeah, y'all, this prison system, we need a whole lot of damn reform, a whole lot of reform. I see you, family, in the clubhouse space. I'm gonna bring you up to the stage. Helps with the algorithm. Ping some folks in the room. Join me up on the stage if you don't mind. We'll catch up. I see you down there if you want to come up to the stage. I see you, family. Thank you for following me. Thank you for following. Thank you. All right, we got about 11 more minutes, and I'm gonna bring it to the clubhouse room and catch up. I see y'all been going at it in clubhouse, so we're gonna catch up in just a few minutes. Chi, I'm gonna mute your mic. Thank you for joining me. HR 930. HR 930 is the SAVES Act. HR 930 is the SAVES Act. This is Saving America's Endangered Species Act. This bill limits the protection of endangered and threatened species to species that are native to the United States, thus removing protection given to non-native species in the United States that are listed as threatened or endangered. So this is Representative Gohmert. Louis Gohmert is a Republican out of Texas. Again, we go through this, keeping up with Congress, because we got to know the players. We got to know the game. We will not get reparations without it. We will not. So when we go to Congress, we got to know who we working with. So let's dive into some of these Senate bills, a few of these Senate bills, and I'll bring it over to Clubhouse and we'll chop it up over there. So Senate Bill 486, Senate Bill 486. This is Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat out of New York. This is Rebuild Rural America Act of 2021, the Rebuild Rural America Act of 2021. This bill would deliver federal resources directly to rural communities as they respond to and recover from the economic crisis caused by COVID-19. This is Gillibrand's words. She says, due to the pandemic, rural communities are grappling with unprecedented financial and public health challenges. These communities will face a serious downturn unless they receive federal assistance. The Rebuild Rural America Act will provide a lifeline for rural communities to assess the federal resources needed to address the complex issues they face. Investing in rural America is smart policy and is key to helping our state recover from this crisis. I can tell you that as I traveled around rural Georgia, y'all, these are some of the most underserved, just areas that are just forgotten, people that are just forgotten. And a lot of these places are so remote. I remember traveling to one part of middle Southeast Georgia. And I remember being on a stretch of highway for about 40 minutes and it was nothing. There was some houses here and there. But before you actually saw a town, y'all, it was really just nothing. And, Imagine, these people don't have, a lot of these places don't have broadband. A lot of them, no internet. So these kids are going back to school in these areas without, if they're going back, it's just so. One of the counties I was in before last year, they don't have a hospital. Hell, they didn't have a grocery store. It was like, how are y'all surviving? It was heartbreaking, some of these rural areas. So when I hear about legislation like this S486 to rebuild rural America, I'm naturally drawn to it because of what I've seen as a candidate and being from rural Georgia. Senate Bill 487. Senate Bill 487 is the 21st Century Conservation Corps Act. This is Senator Wyden, Ron Wyden. He's a Democrat out of Oregon. This bill provides funding for fiscal year 2021 to the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Interior, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Labor, and the Department of Commerce, primarily for federal land management and other conservation purposes. So this is some money, y'all. The 21st Century Conservation Corps Act to go to these agencies for federal land management and other conservation purposes. So this is how they distributing the money, y'all. Distributing the money. Pay attention, y'all. Keeping up with Congress. Senate Bill 488. Senate Bill 488. This is the Iran Sanctions Relief Review Act of 2021. This is Senator Haggard, Bill Haggard. He's a Republican out of Tennessee. The Iran Sanctions Relief Review Act of 2021 is a bill that would enable Congress to vote to approve or block any executive branch proposal to lift sanctions against the Iranian regime. So they are not playing, y'all. This is Senator Haggard, Republican out of Tennessee. Keeping up with Congress, y'all. Senate Bill 489, just a couple more. Senate Bill 489 is the Federal Employees and Retirees with Delinquent Tax Debt Act. I thought this was quite interesting. This is Mike Braun, Republican out of Indiana. Says this bill disqualifies, y'all. This bill disqualifies individuals with delinquent tax debt from federal employment and requires the Internal Revenue Service to regularly publish a report on the tax liabilities of federal employees. So if you are a federal employee or want to be a federal employee, they want to disqualify you. It says specifically the bill disqualifies both applicants and current employees with seriously delinquent tax debt from federal employment. This bill defines seriously delinquent tax debt as a federal tax liability that has been assessed by the Department of the Treasury and that may be collected via levy or court proceeding with specified exceptions. So hell, if these people want to pay back their money, you don't want to give them a job to pay back the money? I don't get it, y'all. I found that quite disturbing. Senate Bill 489, Mike Braun, Republican out of Indiana. Senate Bill 490, y'all. Senate Bill 490. Look, we're almost at the half hour, just about 5 more minutes, family. This is the Unemployment Insurance Technology Modernization Act. Unemployment Insurance Technology Modernization Act of 2021. This is Ron Wyden, Democrat out of Oregon. This bill, y'all, requires the Department of Labor to work with the technology experts to develop, operate, and maintain a modular set of technology capabilities to modernize unemployment compensation technology. And y'all know during this pandemic how jacked up some of these unemployment systems were. People were not getting money. People were, having to wait forever. So there definitely needs to be some sort of overhaul or addressing of some of these state systems. So it says states will be able to use all of the capabilities or choose to use only those capabilities that meet their needs. It says the updated technology will help states ensure timely and accurate delivery of payments and better identify fraudulent claims. So they want to clean up these unemployment systems that, we all saw that was failing a lot of Americans during this pandemic. So this is Senate Bill 40. Again, this is Senator Wyden, Ron Wyden, Democrat out of Oregon. I thank you, family. We are at the half hour. We are at the half hour, almost at the half hour. We got about 3 more minutes. But I am Tamara Johnson Shealy, y'all. I just want to thank you. We have, last month we spent a whole week, a strong week, y'all, on the campaign trail. Actually, I think we went out a couple times, y'all. We did. Last month, we went out a couple times on the campaign trail. And I can just tell you that, what it's going to take for us to win a race to the United States Senate is to stay focused. Right now it's early. We're watching a lot of municipal races, the city of Atlanta. We're here in Georgia, high profile races across the country and in various cities. But this is a race to the United States Senate. And my candidacy is not just to be elected here in Georgia, but I will be your United States Senator. My vote is one vote in Congress, but my one vote affects all of us. So we have to be intentional about our time right now, because what we don't have in resources, there's a lot of money that's getting ready to be poured into this race, from the Warnock camp, that camp, they're going to have the money. Money will not be an issue. What we have now is time. And I would hope that we would be intentional about how we spend our time in these social media streets, how we are, navigating. Let's use this time wisely. Let's make sure we're organizing and we're getting ourselves prepared for 2022, because honestly, we really only have the month of August, September, October, and half of the month of November, because by the time November comes and the holidays are upon us, how many people are really going to be paying attention to politics? Let's be real. So we got about, from Thanksgiving through Christmas, that's it. And then when 2022 is here, we're going to have all I's and all our I's dotted and our T's crossed. We're going to have to be ready to rock and roll. We're going to have to be ready. And we can't get ready. We got to be ready. So we got the month of August, September, October, half the month of November. That's it. Before we can say we're ready for 2022. So I have been spending these last couple of weeks this last week or so, since we came back from being on the road, really trying to be intentional about the support that we need. And it's going to take like I say, there's going to be millions of dollars poured into this race. Monies that prayerfully we can have some measure, something measurable. We got to buy media. They're going to own that, but we got to have media, that's social media, print media, airwaves, television. We got to have media. We got to have mailers, and we got to stay on the ground. We got to stay in these areas where people need to see us, need to hear us. And I keep telling you that the message needs to precede me. So I hope that you will go to the website, put yourself on a budget, on a schedule, donate as much as you can, as often as you can. The maximum contribution for one individual is $2,900, divided by however many months, whatever you can give, and just put yourself on a schedule. I know how hard it is for us, those of us who are descendants of chattel slavery, Black America. I know how hard it is for us. I know how hard it is for me trying to do this to help us. So I just want us to get this right. But right now we got time to do it. So I just want to say thank you. I come to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're keeping up with Congress, because again, we won't get reparations without negotiations. So join me in this Clubhouse space, y'all. I'm getting ready to come over there. If you're on YouTube, hopefully you're on Clubhouse. Join us over on Clubhouse. It's an open app now. So if you don't have the Clubhouse app, please download it. I do keeping up with Congress, but I have a room, Tamara for Georgia. Follow me on Clubhouse and join me over there. But thank you. I saw you chiming in over here on YouTube, family. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe notification, and share. And I will see you tomorrow afternoon, family. Thank you for tuning in for Keeping Up with Congress. I am Tamara Johnson Shealy, your candidate for the United States Senate. I'm a progressive Democrat that believes that reparations will make America great. It is time that we bridge the divide in this country. Please go to the website, that's tamara4georgia.com, www.tamara, Tamara4, Georgia spelled out.com. Please join me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here for Keeping Up with Congress.